how to get growth in Europe is a complex issue. We need a macroeconomic policy mix, as all the economies, and the ECB is doing its best to contribute from the monetary policy side. And at the same time, some countries in Europe needs to consolidate their public finances, so they cannot contribute from the fiscal side, but others can. And I hope they will do this contribution. We need investments in infrastructures, both physical infrastructures and digital infrastructures. We need innovation, and both in investments and innovation, competition policy helps. Competition policy matters because competition policy decisions try to create the right incentives for investors and for innovators, and this is an important, a very important issue. We need in Europe more innovation and more investment, so we need strong competition policy enforcement. And at the same time, we have another tool in Europe, a particular EU tool, that is state aid control. Through state aid control, we can protect the single market, that is the best asset for growing business in Europe, and we can eliminate distortions of competition, but on top of this we can help member states, governments, under pressure from the public finances point of view, to better use the money, to better align the way they use public money to sustain our growth objectives. We need to avoid the temptation to use competition policy enforcement as a tool for industrial policy. Indeed, we need to reinforce our industries. Indeed, we need to reindustrialize our economies. This is about education, human skills, human capital. This is about research, development and innovation. This is about the good use of technologies. This is about the good functioning of the markets, the creation of the right incentives for investment, for productive investment. In many of those aspects, competition policy enforcement helps. Some politicians think that competition policy enforcement should be weakened to protect our industries. They are wrong. Industries that are protected are not industries that are viable, are not industries that can help us to go towards the future at the quickest pace possible. I think these protectionist trends come from the past, and the past experience of protectionists are awful. The old industrial policies, sectoral industrial policies, wasting public money to try to support some companies or some sectors, were a complete failure in the past. Why to repeat failures? We have no time, we cannot afford to repeat failures. We are interested, both sides, the US authorities and ourselves, to discuss, to exchange views and to try to have common positions vis-à-vis all those jurisdictions that are tempted to use their tools, their enforcement tools, in a protectionist way. Both the US authorities and ourselves, as the European Commission, we have bilateral relations with the Chinese competition authorities and with the Chinese authorities at large. And every time that we have this possibility, we mention to them, to the Chinese interlocutors, that competition policy tools are not an instrument of industrial policy, that nobody is interested in a bad use of competition policy tools. If we enforce competition in a proper way, both sides of the equation will benefit from this. If the Chinese companies wanting to invest here, to operate in Europe, find that some European competition authorities or some European authorities, some European governments, tries to create barriers or obstacles for their development here, because their competition authorities there are putting obstacles to a particular merger, nobody will win in this game.